Welcome to EtherLink AI Insights, the podcast where we explore the cutting edge of enterprise AI. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by Sam today to talk about something that's reshaping how organizations build AI systems. We're diving into Agentic AI Development and Orchestration, and why Helsinki is becoming such a critical hub for this technology in 2026.
Thanks, Alex. It's a great time to be talking about this because we're at a real inflection point. Most organizations are still thinking about AI as chatbots. You ask a question, you get an answer. But Agentic AI is fundamentally different. We're talking about systems that autonomously plan, execute complex workflows, adapt to feedback, and deliver measurable business outcomes without constant human supervision.
That's a massive shift. Walk us through what makes an agentic system different from a traditional chatbot, because I think a lot of people still see AI as a conversational tool.
Right, so a chatbot is reactive. It waits for you to ask something, then it responds. An agentic system is proactive and goal-oriented. It perceives its environment, makes decisions autonomously, takes action across integrated tools and APIs, and evaluates whether it hit its target. Think about fraud detection in banking. An agentic system doesn't just flag suspicious transactions. It investigates patterns, gathers supporting evidence, cross-references compliance rules, and generates audit trails automatically. All of that happens without a human directing each step.
So these systems are handling multi-step workflows across potentially multiple systems. That sounds complicated to coordinate. How do organizations actually manage multiple AI agents working in parallel?
That's where agent orchestration comes in. Think of it as a control plane that sits above all your agents and manages the complexity. The orchestration framework routes tasks to the right agent based on its capabilities, handles context as work passes between agents, enforces governance policies, and monitors everything for failures or policy violations.
And governance is actually a huge part of this, especially in Europe with the EU AI Act. You can't just have autonomous systems running around doing whatever they want.
Exactly. That's one of the big advantages of a well-designed orchestration framework. It's not just about efficiency, it's about building compliance and explainability into the system from day one. You get continuous audit trails, decision transparency, and the ability to demonstrate to regulators exactly how and why an agent made a decision. In regulated industries like finance and healthcare, that's non-negotiable.
So what's the business case here? Why are enterprises actually investing in this? McKinsey data shows 72% of enterprise AI leaders are prioritizing agentic workflows in 2026. That's a massive number. Massive.
The numbers are compelling. We're talking about 60 to 75% reductions in manual handoffs. That's labor you're not spending. Process cycle times drop by 40 to 55%. You can scale workflows without proportional cost increases because the system handles coordination automatically. And for compliance-heavy organizations, you get continuous monitoring and audit trails that would be impossible to maintain manually.
So if I'm a financial services organization in Helsinki, or anywhere in Scandinavia really, what does this actually look like in practice? What am I building?
You're building what we call a control plane, the central nervous system for your agents. It includes a task router that intelligently directs work based on agent capabilities and availability. It manages context and state as work flows between agents. It enforces governance policies and compliance controls at every step. And critically, it monitors agent performance against your business metrics and organizational constraints in real time.
That sounds sophisticated. How mature is this technology right now? Are we talking about bleeding-edge research or something organizations can actually deploy today?
We're at an interesting point. According to Gartner's 2025 survey, only 31% of enterprises have implemented centralized agent orchestration frameworks. But here's the critical part. Organizations that have mature control planes report 3.2x higher automation success rates and 2.8x faster time to production for new agent workflows.
So it's not experimental anymore. Early adopters are seeing real, measurable advantages.
Absolutely. And that's creating a competitive gap, especially in regulated industries. If you're in finance, healthcare, or public administration, and you haven't started building your agent orchestration framework, you're already behind. Your competitors are moving faster, scaling more efficiently, and demonstrating compliance more easily.
Why Helsinki specifically? Why is Scandinavia becoming such a hub for this?
A few things converge. First, Helsinki has deep technical talent and a strong software engineering culture. Second, Scandinavian enterprises are genuinely early adopters of AI. They're not risk-averse, they're innovation-focused. Third, and this is important, European organizations are building AI systems from day one with governance and compliance in mind. They're not retrofitting EU AI Act compliance, they're architecting it into the system. That mindset produces more robust production-ready infrastructure.
So if an organization is ready to take this seriously, what's the starting point? How do you go from traditional automation to agentic systems?
You start with clarity on your high-value workflows, the processes that consume the most labor, have the most manual handoffs, or are the most error-prone. Then you assess which workflows have enough structured data and clear decision logic to be good candidates for agentic automation. You build your first control plane, maybe starting with 2 to 3 specialized agents managing a specific workflow, and you measure obsessively. Success with a pilot gives you the foundation and the internal confidence to scale.
And I imagine the technical architecture matters a lot here. It's not just about deploying agents.
Correct. You need proper infrastructure, message queues for reliable agent communication, monitoring dashboards that give you real-time visibility into agent behavior and decision-making, evaluation frameworks that measure outcomes against business metrics, and governance integration that's baked in from the start. This is where a lot of organizations struggle. They focus on the agent itself and underinvest in the orchestration layer. That creates bottlenecks and compliance risks.
What does that governance integration actually look like in practice?
You're building decision audit trails so you can trace exactly why an agent made a choice and what data informed it. You're implementing policy enforcement. If an agent's decision violates a compliance rule, the system flags it before it executes. You're creating transparency dashboards that explain agent behavior to stakeholders and regulators. And you're building human-in-the-loop controls for high-stakes decisions. It's not about restricting autonomy, it's about building trustworthy autonomy.
That's a big operational shift for a lot of organizations. Are there common mistakes you see teams making?
Absolutely. First mistake, underestimating data quality. Agents are only as good as the data they learn from. Second, starting with too many agents without a mature orchestration layer, you end up with coordination chaos. Third, treating governance as something you add later. You can't retrofit compliance into an autonomous system. And fourth, not measuring the right outcomes. You optimize for agent activity instead of business impact.
So the mindset shift is really about treating agent orchestration as enterprise infrastructure, not just a technology project.
Exactly. You're not building a chatbot. You're building a system that fundamentally changes how work flows through your organization. That requires investment in architecture, governance, monitoring, and team skills. But organizations that get this right, they're unlocking significant competitive advantage in automation, compliance, and speed to market.
For organizations listening in Helsinki or across Scandinavia, what should be their next move?
Take inventory of your highest value, most labor-intensive workflows. Identify which ones have strong candidates for agentic automation, clear decision logic, good data availability, measurable outcomes. Then pilot one agent control plane with 2 to 3 specialized agents. Measure relentlessly, iterate, and build internal momentum. Don't wait until 2027 to start. The competitive advantage goes to organizations moving in 2026.
Sam, this has been really insightful. For listeners who want to dive deeper into agent orchestration frameworks, control plane architecture, and how EtherLink is helping European organizations build production-ready agentic infrastructure, the full article is on etherlink.ai. Search for Agentic AI Development and Orchestration in Helsinki 2026, or check the show notes for the direct link.
And if you're building agent systems or thinking about starting, we'd love to hear what challenges you're facing. The agentic AI space is evolving quickly, and conversation with practitioners shapes what we focus on next.
Thanks, Sam, and thanks to everyone listening to EtherLink AI Insights. We'll be back next week with more on enterprise AI, automation, and the infrastructure that's reshaping how organizations work. Until then, keep pushing on those high-value automations.